What's up, guys? Rick here with your betting and one and done preview for this week's Corrales Puntacana Championship. We'll look at the outright market. We'll see if we have some value in head-to-head matchups. We'll give an update on the RunGood One and Done, and we will talk about one and done options for this week. It is going to be a crazy week. There's a lot of weird names here. Also, if you are new to William Hill and you live in New Jersey, you can get a $500 free bet if you use the promo code RICK500 or go to rickrungood.com/willhill for more information. Hoping to get more states on board soon, but my goodness, that's one of the best offers I've ever seen. RICK500 for a $500 free bet. All right, let's jump into it. You're looking at the tournament predictor tool on RickRunGood.com, and I got to be honest with you, you're not looking at much. You are looking at a situation where we have Will Zalatoris, who is the co-favorite to win this golf tournament, not even showing up on the tournament predictor because there's not enough data for him. He played the U.S. Open. That was his only PGA Tour start, or at least relevant one, so there wasn't even enough data to run him in the numbers. And then also, what you're seeing is a field this week, W-E-A-K, not W-E-E-K, a field this week that doesn't even have many golfers that can get to the winning score. So if you're new to the tournament predictor tool, we take 13 strokes gained and we say that's the number that a guy's going to have to hit. And we use all of their recent and long-term performances to see how often they can get to that winning score. And for the vast majority of the players in this field, they can't get there, or at least they can't get there more often than their odds dictate. Some of these ceilings are incredible. I mean, I have Corey Connors' ceiling at gaining 11 strokes on the field. Charles Howe III, 11.11. I don't know. Will Gordon, 13. That's one of the few. So the way to look at this is it's almost completely different because you're getting such it's almost an alternate field event, quite frankly, that has full FedEx Cup status. And there are so few guys that have historically been able to hit a ceiling high enough to win a golf tournament. But here's the thing, someone's going to win this golf tournament. Someone's going to do it. So Will Gordon, and he's probably helped by his small sample size. I have his ceiling at about 13 strokes gained, which means I have him getting to the winning score about, what would that be? 2.3% of the time. His implied odds have already been bet down. I mean, he opened at like 90, then I saw him at 66. I think he's at 60 in some places. The implied odds have him winning the golf tournament about 1.5% of the time. So there is the tiniest bit of value on Will Gordon. There is the tiniest bit of value on Graham McDowell if you throw out the last, couple of months of his results. I guess, the model hasn't thrown it out, but he's been bad. But the things that help him, he won this event last year. He won in Saudi Arabia a couple of months ago. Those are the things that help him, but he doesn't pass the eye test. I can sort this by expected value. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 11 guys who have a positive expected value to win this golf tournament outright, and none of them are more than 1% of expected value. This is bleak as bleak can be. I've never seen it this bad because of the very rare situation we're in with the strength of this field or lack thereof. So we're kind of throwing the model out the window. Let's just talk through some of the betting options for this week and where I might go with my card. Will Zalatoris, who I've mentioned, I believe, on the DFS video, I said I didn't think it was great to necessarily play him in fantasy situations. I'll just fire a FOMO bet. Already done that. I got it at 14-1. I think some places he's been bet down to 12. I'm just firing a FOMO bet. If he wins, whatever, I don't want to have to worry about it. I think the best option, if you want one of the top players, is probably Mackenzie Hughes. In normal, PGA Tour fields, he pops off. He's got a couple of top fives here and there, a couple of top tens. I think he is pretty clearly the class of this field right here. He's 16 to 1. I think that when you start getting down, there's a lot of options in like the 60 to 80 range that I think are pretty interesting. And I outlined some of them, in the sleepers vid that came out on Monday evening, the DFS video. But just to be really clear here, someone like hold on, let me find them. Even like a Patrick Rogers who has been bet down 50 to 1. Patrick Rogers is the rare combination of both power off the tee and he's a good putter. That does not happen often at all. Will Gordon, I mentioned, he's the one that I like personally, and the model it's one of the few guys in the model, but if you missed, the 90 number, he's 60 in some places. Doug Gim, Rob Oppenheim, both 80 to 1. I like that. Gim is really interesting, plays with a lot of passion, has played well recently. Oppenheim should be a pretty good course fit around here. But there was someone else. Was it Akshay? No, it wasn't Akshay. He's 125 to 1. I probably wouldn't bet that outright. I'm probably going to live in the top 20 market this week. Let me see if I can find some top 20 numbers for you. So those 80 to 1 guys, their top 20 numbers are pretty good. Let me see if I can find this. Will Gordon 3 to 1, top 20. Akshay 5 to 1, top 20. Gim is 3 to 1 as well. Interesting. Okay, so here's what's noteworthy. So Gordon got bet down to 60 in the outright market, but his top 20 number is still the same as Gim's, and Gim is 80 to 1. Noteworthy. So the top 20 market has not responded as much as the outright market. Michael Gligic, 5.5 to 1, top 20. I think this is where I'm going to live. I got to tell you, I have no idea who's going to win this golf tournament. There's probably 100 guys who can win this golf tournament. There are varying levels of pros in here, some with recent form success, some, there's no really course history. We don't have shot link data. I think I'm living in the top 20 market. I will fire a couple of darts in the outright market just for some sweats, probably on, so I already have Will Zalatoris, probably on Hughes. I do like Denny McCarthy. I'll probably have to decide between those two. What's Denny's outright number? 28 to 1. I think I like Denny a little bit better in fantasy, but that 28 to 1 number is interesting. So I'll probably have to decide between Hughes and McCarthy. And then I'm just going to I'm going to live in the top 20s. I'm going to live there and just try to return, 3, 4, 5 to 1 as many times as I can. Let's turn our attention to betting matchups here. And let's see if I can find a couple of matchups that are out right now. All right, this is the head-to-head matchup tool on RickRunGood.com. I'm going to adjust the date range. Let's go since the start of 2020. And what this does is it looks at your strokes gain data, simulates a 4-round tournament, and tells you who's more likely to win in a head-to-head matchup. I'm going to go with, here's one. Sam Burns versus Corey Connors. Sam Burns versus Corey Connors. I have Sam Burns winning this 56% of the time, minus 129. I'm actually seeing a little bit of the opposite. Connors is a small favorite here, so this might be a bet on Sam Burns. Burns has played well recently. You can see where he crosses over right here. Basically around July, he starts outpacing, basically since the restart, he starts outpacing Corey Connors and overtakes him in the head-to-head matchups here. What else do we have? I want to find a couple of guys with really, a lot of rounds so that we can see that. There's so many guys with small sample sizes. Will Gordon, Chris Baker, they're just very small sample sizes. We could do Oppenheim versus Gim. Let's do that one. Do I have enough rounds on Gim? Let's see. I think I might. Wow, Gim wins this 59% of the time. We're making his money line, in theory, minus 146. That's pretty interesting because Oppenheim's been better recently, but the longer-term form of this head-to-head matchup going back to January doesn't like Oppenheim as much. So that's pretty interesting. There's going to be a lot of weird ones. There's going to be a lot of small sample size matchups. So the ones that I can find that are at least a little bit of bigger sample sizes, I'm certainly going to roll out there as much as possible. Let's talk one and done real quick. I'll give an update on the RunGood One and Done, which you can certainly go visit for yourself, rickrungood.com/OAD. And let's see who we have at the top here. Sweet Dank, 2.29 million, has a small lead over Logan Dempsey, 20. So Sweet Dank had Harold Varner III at the Safeway, and then Bryson DeChambeau at the U.S. Open. I believe there were two of you that had Bryson in the U.S. Open. So congratulations, you've jumped out to a really good start. Detroit Golf City, JP Malone, and Derek Pitzer round out the top 5 through only 2 events. So what do we have? 48 more to go, something like that. So good luck. Turning our attention to this week, and wow, oh wow. I mean, it's basically anything you want here, right? I mean, you've got a situation where anybody you play is probably not someone you'd play somewhere else. I'm trying to think of who you might actually want to save for somewhere. I mean, you would never save Corey Connors, Will Zalatoris, Sam Burns, Charles Howe III, Mackenzie Hughes, Adam, like you'd never save these guys for anywhere. You'd never save them anywhere. So I think it's pretty much a grab bag. You can do whatever you want. I'm going to narrow it down to this. I have a hankering for Denny McCarthy. And I've kind of made this case over the last couple of weeks since the 3M. Denny is very clearly a putting specialist. No one is ever going to deny that. He's back-to-back strokes gained putting king on the PGA Tour, back-to-back seasons. At the 3M Open, his irons started to come around. And if he rounds into form where he becomes even tour average in the 3 other categories, Denny McCarthy is going to make a lot of noise on the PGA Tour, and I think we might start to see that. The other thing is this: he's been good here in the past, I believe. Let me see. I think he's made both cuts here at the at Corrales Puntacana, and sometimes these resort courses turn into birdie fests and they turn into putting contests. And if that's the case, where everybody hits it to 18 feet and then you see how many birdie putts you can make, I like my chances with Denny McCarthy. I imagine Will Zalatoris is popular. I think he's going to be one of the most popular options. So I kind of have to back up my same sentiments while playing him in a popular situation in fantasy. It's kind of the same way. Playing him as a popular option in a one and done doesn't really appeal to me. A guy who I love long-term, doesn't have a lot of history on the PGA Tour, a grinding, grueling U.S. Open last week. To ask him to come in as a favorite and get you a win right now, like it'd be unbelievably impressive. I would be even more impressed with Will Zalatoris than I am right now if he was able to do that. I just don't think that objectively it's a great game theory play. Sam Burns is kind of interesting. I think he goes completely overlooked here, and he's got the 3rd best odds. I think that's kind of interesting. We saw him. He did fade on the weekend at Wyndham. When would that have been? Safeway. Wow. That was just 2 weeks ago at Safeway. 7th at Safeway, 13th at Wyndham. Those were 2 of his last 3 starts. He missed the cut at the Northern Trust. I think he offers an opportunity where he's going to be pretty low owned, I assume. And he's got the 3rd best odds, because I imagine you're going to get a concentration of Zalatoris and then you're going to go to Hughes. And I think like everybody's on that. And then I think the interesting pivots are Burns, Griot. I think there'll be a lot of McCarthy. But if you wanted to go further, I mean, you could really make a case here. This thing's wide open. And if that's the case, Thomas Dietrich, who no one's going to play from the European Tour. If you really want to get risky, I mean, I guess there might be some Will Gordon love, quite frankly. But like if you really wanted to get risky, Zhinzun Zhang, when he makes the cut, he's great. When he does it, like either makes a cut or finishes in the top 15. I really do believe this thing is wide open. And there's a lot of different ways you can go here. I don't have the winner's share of this yet. I don't see it officially posted anywhere. I might get that hopefully before the week starts, but the tour's been really slow on trying to get, the new schedule updated and stuff like that. So I hope to have that soon, but to put it into perspective, I think it's going to be around Safeway, Sanderson Farms type money now that this is just like your regular tour event, not your opposite field event. So you're probably talking about 1.1-ish million to the winner, maybe 1.188. That's what Safeway and Sanderson Farms got. So not an alternate field event, which would get you like 500,000, 550,000. Certainly not one of these bigger events, but 1.1, 1.2 will certainly go a long way. Wide open. Let me know who you are picking this week in the Dominican Republic. Tweet me at RickRunGood or leave a comment below. Best of luck this week. Talk to you guys soon.